Welcome to A Lost Cause. I'm Shauna Sparrow.
And I'm Annie.
And today we are trying a bold new experiment of doing a video podcast instead of just audio. So we don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a try. And what better place to start than one of our favorite characters, Sawyer.
Sawyer. Or James. Or Jim LaFleur.
Very good. He's got more than one identity, but his real name is James Ford.
James Ford.
Yes. And so how did James Ford become Sawyer?
Oh, it's so sad. He's got one of them, well, there's not really anybody who doesn't have a dark past.
But this is a very tragic
backstory.
But
his mom was conned and had an affair with this con artist.
Who called himself?
Sawyer.
And Tom Sawyer, actually, right?
Yeah. And Sawyer's dad found out and got really mad and killed Sawyer's mom and then himself, all while Sawyer was watching from underneath the bed.
Hiding under the bed. Poor little 8-year-old Sawyer.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, then James Ford decided to take on the identity of his enemy, really.
Yeah. No. Was that? I thought it was when he started conning people.
Yeah. I mean, but, eventually he did take on the name Sawyer. And his lifelong ambition, I guess, was to get revenge and to find Sawyer and kill him. But then for some reason he sort of became Sawyer, right?
Yeah.
And became
because
a con artist.
He used those cons and it's not great.
Yeah, so, like a lot of the other characters, Sawyer doesn't have the most glowing backstory, but there is a lot of tragedy there. And so how did Sawyer end up on Oceanic 815? What was he doing in Sydney?
Okay, he was going to kill Sawyer.
Yeah, he thought that he'd found the man who was Sawyer.
But it wasn't him. It was someone else.
Yeah.
It was some fake person.
So he accidentally killed the wrong person.
Yes.
But there's a connection to the actual con artist Sawyer is also
John Locke's dad.
John Locke's biological
Isn't that
father.
crazy?
Yeah. So that is one of the crazy connections.
I loved that. I mean, I didn't love that character, but I loved that connection.
That they have that connection. Yeah, for sure. And that the viewer knows about that connection. It takes us a long time to find out, actually.
Yeah,
but
season 4, right?
Yeah, but the viewer knows
season 3.
A lot longer, or long before they find out.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you describe Sawyer? We've talked about his backstory, but as far as his character, what kind of person is he?
Well, at the start of the show, he's kind of terrible. I was definitely rooting for Jack.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to hate him, at the beginning.
But then he's too charming.
And
then they change his character.
Yeah, and I think a lot of credit goes to the actor. He's just too charismatic and too likable. And so it's almost like they have to keep introducing sort of bad stuff as Sawyer does to get us to, hate him again, because we're naturally just inclined to really like him.
Mm-hmm. He hoards everybody's stuff at the start.
Yeah, what is that about, actually?
I really don't know.
That's an interesting sort of character trait, that he's very territorial and that he is always kind of gathering up stuff.
I didn't like that. I mean, I didn't mind the guns all being kept in one place. But, I mean, with Shannon's inhaler, as someone who has asthma, didn't like that episode at all.
I mean, I guess in a way, having that stuff gives Sawyer power, right? Because he can, trade it, or people have to do things to get it. I think it also just shows his, natural distrust of people, where Jack's motto is live together, die alone. Sawyer's very much every man for himself, I would say, is kind of his philosophy, particularly at the beginning. But when we try to sort of describe Sawyer, it's difficult to put into words because there are many different eras of Sawyer, if you think about it, right? You've got kind of the first season, he's sort of the villain to an extent.
Yeah.
Then there's
lots of power struggles.
Lots of power struggles.
Yeah.
Then there is Raft Sawyer.
Oh, I hate that raft.
Then there's
The
like
worst.
Cage's Sawyer.
Oh, that's true.
You know, and then eventually Darmaville Sawyer, my favorite
Well,
Sawyer.
you're missing.
Okay, well, what's in between?
Well, season 4.
Yeah, but what era would you
He's
say?
great in season 4. He's like chilling in the barracks, and he's like, I don't know, he saved Claire.
Oh, okay,
you
yeah.
know?
So what would we call that? Like that sort of era of Sawyer?
Well, he is in love with Kate then.
He's kind of the boyfriend in that era a little bit, right? Then Darmaville,
Uh-huh.
and then finally Sideways Sawyer.
Sideways Sawyer / depressed Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of change for Sawyer. What do you think helps Sawyer? Because, like, obviously he becomes a better person. He becomes more willing to help others, more caring. Why do you think he changes over time?
Isn't it kind of obvious?
Well, what is it?
Juliet. It's Juliet.
But even before Juliet comes into the picture,
Okay,
like,
Kate.
he's made a lot of progress.
Kate. It's the like love.
It's what love does,
Yeah.
right? It makes you want to be a better person, and he wants Kate to think well of him.
Yeah, but Kate's kind of. I know I'm going against everything we talked about in the last episode, but I really hated Kate with Sawyer because she was so rude to him a lot of the time and just using her.
Yeah, didn't treat Sawyer very well.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just fair. She does use him. She's definitely in love with Jack. I mean, I think she has sincere feelings for Sawyer, but she's okay with just using him.
Yeah, not great. Not great.
Sawyer is a father.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And so what's the backstory on that?
Okay, so Cassidy, we talked about her last podcast. She got pregnant with Sawyer's baby.
But Sawyer only found out about that later, right?
Well, she sent him to prison for it.
Yeah.
Which was Kate's idea, actually. I just watched that episode. And she sends him to jail. He's not having a fun time. And then Cassidy goes to visit him in jail and says, look, you have a daughter.
Right.
Do you want to come raise her with me?
Clementine, yeah.
And it's kind of a weird offer. Like, if you sent someone to jail.
Right.
It's just kind of like, I don't really see the thought behind that.
Mm-hmm. But Cassidy was originally a victim of one of Sawyer's cons. Yeah. And so, you know, he pretended to be in love with her to, like...
Maybe he was.
Well, I think
we
sort of discover he did develop real feelings for her, but, you know, he was pretending to be in love with her to gain her trust so that she would tell him where her ex-husband's money was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole point. But then she did turn him in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she ends up meeting Kate before, like, you know, the crash. And Kate says, you should
turn him in?
Yeah, she turned him in.
Kind of crazy. That's another connection I love.
So Cassidy doesn't turn Kate in. She helps Kate, like, on the run.
Mm-hmm.
But she does turn Sawyer in.
Yeah.
So, like, what would you say when we talked about all these different eras of Sawyer?
Oh, wait, we have more to say about Clementine, don't we?
Sure, go ahead.
Because, like, I don't know. I would have thought in season 5 that he would want to have, like, a kid with Juliet, right?
Yes.
That's talked about in season 5.
Right.
But then Kate's like, well, you know, what did she say? She said something about
Well, she
Clementine.
talks about Clementine because Kate, of course, got to leave the island.
And Sawyer's like, well, I can't be her dad. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, I'd be something about, like, he's really trying to explain, like, I can't be your boyfriend. It wouldn't have worked out.
It wouldn't have worked out. But then Kate's like, well, you're doing okay with Juliet. Just kind of like, that's true. That is true. And it's I don't like that Sawyer left Clementine.
Yeah, I
get that he loves, like, her. He gave her that money secretly.
Right.
But it's just kind of like, come on.
I think, though, that especially now that Kate has such a strong relationship with Cassidy and Clementine, like, Clementine calls her Auntie Kate, I think.
Yeah.
I think when they, like, at the very end, go back from the island, probably he will reconnect with Cassidy and develop a relationship with Clementine. Like, I think that's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. because of all of the growth. And really, I mean, that's kind of one of the messages of the show, is that the island brings all of those people there for a reason, and like the island's not done with them. And you know, the island did really change Sawyer and made him a better man.
Yeah. Especially during those 3 years.
Yes.
With Juliet, because Juliet's the best.
So let's talk about that. So out of all the eras of Sawyer, like Sawyer at his best is definitely
Dharma and Jim LaFleur.
Jim LaFleur.
Jim LaFleur.
So just to give a little bit of background of like, how does he become Jim LaFleur, and what is all that?
Ben, as one does, moves the island and makes time travel happen.
Yeah, it's not really working though, right? It's kind of skipping
through time like it would on a record player. Which by the way, before they talked about that little metaphor, I said that it was like that. And it was awesome.
That was one of Annie's finest moments, because we're like watching the show and, you know, she's trying to figure out like why they keep skipping through time, and she said it's like a record skipping. She did. And then that's how Daniel Faraday explains it to everybody, his scientific experiment.
Yeah. We have a little polar bear stuffed animal we named Daniel.
Normally Daniel joins us for the podcast, but we overlooked it, unfortunately.
Well. Next time.
Next time, for sure. That's probably, if this podcast goes really badly, we'll just blame it on Daniel not being here. Mm-hmm. So, yes, they're skipping through time, and then they end up landing
in the 70s, 1977.
1977.
Dharma's
Which is
heyday.
Just exactly the heyday of Dharma. So
they keep on saying that in the behind the scenes. They always say that a million times.
Yeah, we've got Dharma at its heyday, but also the others. They're not called the others.
Hostiles.
They're called the Hostiles.
The Hostiles.
There's thankfully a familiar face, like always, Richard Alpert. You know,
we love Richard Alpert.
We do love Richard Alpert. Yeah. So they show up and they have to explain who they are.
So they lie.
And it's a bit of a con, I guess.
It is a con.
Because Sawyer has those like instincts. He can
it's a great like alibi kind of, because they said that they were looking for the shipwreck of the Black Rock,
which is in fact on
but
on the island.
It does confuse me. Like, would she have crashed there yet?
Oh yeah.
No, she wouldn't have. No,
but the Black Rock has been there since. Like, that's how Richard came to the island.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's been there since,
okay, I'm so stupid.
No, that's
I thought my brain was doing tricks, and I thought it was
Rousseau.
Danielle.
Yeah.
But it's not. That wouldn't make sense.
The Black Rock is already there.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, they were on their way to Tahiti or something, looking for the Black Rock.
And then they kind of just stay
shipwrecked on the island. And so there's an arrangement with the head of Dharma,
Horace. Shout out to Horace, because I told her I was going to do this. This is why she's laughing. It's his birthday. Not today. It was
his birthday earlier this week. The actor who plays Horace, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I got really excited, and I had a chicken salad sandwich.
In his honor.
And so happy 65th.
And made an elaborate, like...
Should I show?
Yeah, sure, if you can find it. Made a very elaborate little card to celebrate...
To celebrate Horace. No, what's going on? Which, we love Horace. He's very difficult when they first come to the island.
Yeah.
Not really willing to...
Well, you understand, though, they're all kind of on edge, because there's this, like, war with the Hostiles. I mean, they killed Amy's husband, Paul.
That is pretty
in that same episode.
Intense.
So, obviously, they're very wary of outsiders. But then, you know...
I found it.
Jim LaFleur talks his way in. Yeah, this is what I have to deal with, so that's good and
There's
normal.
2 more coming this week.
Oh, 2 more lost birthdays.
Yep. They're in the Linus family. Okay.
Wow, we'll just let that little teaser sit there for you, but yeah, so originally Horace allows, and so let's just be clear, it's Sawyer, Juliet,
Miles,
and
Jin. Jin's there. Jin is with them.
And then also Daniel LaFleur when they first get
Daniel
there,
LaFleur.
right? Yeah.
Right, Daniel LaFleur. That's right.
No, not Daniel LaFleur. Daniel, what's his
Faraday.
name? Faraday.
Goodness.
Daniel Faraday. We'll edit all that out. And so Horace is like going to let them stay for a week until the next sub comes. And actually, this is a great episode for Sawyer, talking people into things, right? Because we see him convince Horace that, yeah, let us stay for a week. And Juliet is like, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm going on the sub, even though it's the 70s and I can't, find my sister. I'm leaving this island. I've wanted to leave for 3 years. But does she go?
Nope.
No, because Sawyer talks her into staying 1 more week as well.
Aww.
And that's the first time we see kind of the sparks start to fly there between Juliet and Sawyer.
It's so sweet.
Yes. So I would say Sawyer at his best is when he gives Juliet that flower.
Aw, I know, it's so... I just love that episode.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It's like the best episode, and then the next one is great, and then the next 2 are great, and then it's the incident. She's not so great.
So it's too bad. I kind of wish that there were more like Happy Dharmaville episodes because it's such a great time. But I guess
we really only got one Happy
time, and even that was like Paul gets killed. Juliet like delivers Ethan, so
it's great. It's great.
But
it's a time paradox.
It is. It's great.
And I mean, it's lost. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great episode.
It's one of my favorite episodes, absolutely. And so why are Sawyer and Juliet so good together?
Oh, because Juliet really calms him down.
Yeah.
Just kind of like anchors him.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Sawyer has a tendency to kind of fly off the handle.
Or, as the kids say, crash out.
Kind of like react, just without sort of, taking a minute to respond. Whereas Juliet is just always so calm, so reassuring, so understanding.
She's just great.
She's a very, like, stabilizing influence for...
I love her.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and she's wonderful for Sawyer in particular. And I think, the real, like, magic to the relationship is that Juliet can just see through people, so Sawyer can't really con her, right?
Yeah.
And so he can actually be himself, and she accepts him as he is, because he does have a lot of good qualities.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, they're very good together. So it's kind of easy to see, like, why Juliet is good for Sawyer, but is Sawyer good for Juliet? Kind of like counterpoint. Like, what does he bring to the table for her?
True love. True love. Oh, Juliet. She's always the other woman. Always. And when she's not, she's not.
She still feels like she's not the first choice. And I think that's kind of the shadow hanging over their relationship. She wasn't his first choice.
She wasn't his first choice, but she was his best choice.
That's a very good way of putting it. And I
came up with that on the spot.
It's very good. It's like, I haven't even got to the hot take yet, but that's really
My hot take sucks, but that's okay.
But that happens in life, but very often, probably for most people, their first choice isn't the best choice. And sometimes you get lucky enough to find the person you really belong with and are a good fit together. And that is Sawyer and Juliet, absolutely.
Yeah. So sad.
So what would you say then is Sawyer kind of at his worst?
Well, when Juliet dies.
Okay, you think that's...
Yes, his, like, disgusting clothes, like, when Locke comes and finds him.
Yeah, and he's just, like, blaring that music.
He's, like, pulling a Roger.
But we find out something really even more sad.
Yeah, he was going to propose to Juliet.
He had the ring and everything. Yeah.
Well, I didn't really understand that, because, like, it was buried underneath their house. Like...
Well, yeah, I don't know.
What? Did I miss something?
He's really keeping it a surprise, I guess.
Just, like, at 3 a.m., like, say he was going to propose, she's just asleep, and then she sees him, like, chopping up the floor. Mm-hmm. Kind of weird.
But again, they have really heightened security, on the island. And I guess that's something
But
else we didn't touch on when we were talking about, like, Dharma.
That he's the
Jim.
head of
He's actually
security.
does a really good job as the head of security. He's very well respected. Everyone puts their confidence in him.
Until
But I mean, he's a good leader.
all
And-
those stupid people come back to the island and mess everything up.
But I think Jack is a little bit sort of taken aback at kind of how much progress Sawyer's made.
Yes,
and
but then
how-
too much.
Yeah.
Then too much. And then he lets some kid die. And then Sawyer saves him.
It just
for
goes-
Juliet.
It just goes to
Aw,
show
for Juliet.
that really, if circumstances had been different, like Sawyer's life could have turned out very differently. He does have lots of like natural leadership abilities. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. And this is one thing I love about Sawyer is the reading. Some of my favorite Sawyer scenes are him like wearing the glasses and reading, "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret." Like it's just too funny. And I love that Sawyer loves to read because it doesn't fit the cliche, right? You wouldn't think that he'd be a reader.
Yes. One of my favorite Sawyer moments, is that the next question?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Is when he's reading to Aaron. I love that part, like when baby Aaron can't stop crying.
Yes.
And then
That is-
Charlie brings Aaron to Sawyer and aw.
Yeah.
I love that scene. It's so
But
great.
that reminds me of like another great scene where like Hurley lies to Sawyer and tells him that everyone's going to vote him off the island.
Yeah.
So Sawyer's trying to be nice to everyone. So he like is trying to be nice to Claire, and he's like trying to talk to Aaron. And he's kind of like, "Hi there, little baby." Yeah. So really, I think we need to take a moment to appreciate just what a good acting performance it is, because that's why he's so likable, and that's why he's so charismatic, and yeah. And that's why, of course, there was the big debate, Team Jack and Team Sawyer. It's like only even a question because Sawyer's so good looking, right?
Right.
It's like way better looking than Jack, let's be honest.
Jack's sad face.
Although some people might actually like say Jack's more their type.
My friend actually, I'm watching with my two.
Like finds
best
him
friends.
like more attractive.
Yeah, like has a crush on Dessa.
Interesting. So
Sorry,
yeah,
not. I mean, I can't talk, but
you kind of did reveal some personal information there, but that's okay. Well, now that you've mentioned Jack, let's talk about Sawyer's relationship with Jack. It's definitely a tense relationship. Lots of conflict, lots of times when they're having their power struggle.
Sorry. Who cares about the fight over Kate? No one.
Yeah, and we don't
No
have to
one
focus on that.
cares.
Like, I think we talked a lot already about the triangle. We can move on from that. But obviously, there is just this, like, inherent power struggle between...
And I don't know why.
I think maybe part of it is that Sawyer is kind of challenging Jack's leadership because, when he finally gets a chance to lead in Dharmaville, he's pretty good at it, and he kind of gives Jack that speech like, hey, when you were in charge, you didn't really think about things. You just reacted, and a lot of people got
Very,
hurt.
very true. Think about, like, not a lot of people get hurt under Sawyer's...
Well, things go terribly wrong. There's
But that's
like
not his fault.
a bus on fire. Yeah, but you could
Whoa.
But you could also say
We don't go there.
that it's not Jack's fault that things go wrong, right? Like, and that people get hurt. I mean, some of the time it is.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
There's,
but you can't blame Jack
not a
for
single
everything.
decision that he's made where someone doesn't get hurt.
But do you think it's as a direct result of his decision?
Yes.
Okay, give me an example.
For example. Okay.
Calling the freighter.
Yes, calling the freighter.
That's one, for sure.
Okay, how many people died because of that?
Well, all of them. Like, I mean, pretty much, like, yeah, we don't even know what happened to everybody,
Well, who even ended up... What?
Like, when you think
Like,
about it.
no one survived.
I mean, Rose and Bernard, like, we know that they survived, but, like, there's a lot of other people that just kind of
Die.
we don't know what happened to them. So yeah, it didn't go well.
Nope. Not at all. Next question, please. I don't want to talk about Jack anymore.
Well, I'd like to talk about Sawyer, being kind of on both sides of the law. So, like, he's a con artist, then he's head of security, and then in the sideways, they make the very interesting choice
That he is a police officer.
He's a police officer, which kind of raises the question, like, is it sort of kind of on the edge of a knife, like of whether someone becomes a criminal or a cop? It's kind of an interesting idea. In this sort of situation, like where, okay, his parents have been murdered essentially, it's sort of like the Batman myth, right? Like, so what inspires Batman to be a vigilante?
Well,
And so he's not a police officer, but he's a vigilante, and he's, trying to avenge his parents. So
can't seem to escape talking about DC anywhere I go.
But it's just that kind of formative experience that you can sort of go one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can either say, I'm going to, like, fight against crime. I'm going to, be a police officer.
Right, but it's
uphold
just
the
kind
law.
of like, it's not.
Or you go the other way. And I think for Sawyer, it really was just kind of on the bubble there. And he ended up being a con artist, but he could have very easily gone the other way and been a cop.
Right. But, I mean, whatever. It just doesn't really seem like Sawyer.
You don't think that that's a good fit for him being a cop?
I don't. I mean, the head of security is nice, but I didn't really know what I thought about Cop Sawyer.
But don't you think, though, like, him being a detective is kind of...
Oh, yeah.
But,
okay, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about.
Because he knows how criminals think. And, And then in the sideways, his partner is Miles.
And in Dharma Initiative, too. And I really like that. I didn't really... I mean, they're kind of the same.
Well, yeah, I think there's even a comment, like, by Hurley or someone, like, don't we already have a Sawyer? Like, because Miles makes a lot of, kind of inappropriate comments that you'd expect Sawyer to make, so. Yeah, but then they end up becoming really good friends, and that was sort of an unforeseen development that I really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really, Sawyer is finally getting all of his needs met. Like, in Darmaville.
He's got a best friend.
Yeah.
He's got, like, a good job.
That gives him a sense of
like
purpose and
good,
accomplishment.
Like, the love of his life.
He's, like, taking care of people. So that's why Annie and I get so frustrated, kind of like when they come back and wreck it all, because things were going so well.
Things were... Like, why did they why did they have to come back? There was no point.
And yet, Sawyer was looking for them and expecting them in a way to come back. Because even at the beginning of I think, the episode where they do come back, right? He's asking Jen, like, did you do another scan or patrol? Like, is there any sign of them? So he's still kind of waiting for them to come. Juliet probably hopes they never come back, and who can blame her for that?
No one. No one can blame her for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so mad at them.
But don't you think, like, getting back to friendship, that Sawyer really kind of wanted to be friends with Jack and was like,
yes, because back in
him.
like season 2, he's like, you're the closest thing I have to a friend.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
It is sad.
But then Jack's just like really annoying.
Kind of arrogant.
And mean.
Yeah.
So then Sawyer's like, okay, well, screw that.
Well, especially because it's so hard for Sawyer to make himself vulnerable, right? And to like open his heart, and then he tries to sort of extend friendship to Jack, and Jack like seems to think he's too good for Sawyer.
Oh, he's like the worst. He's the worst. I know I'm going against everything I said.
Yeah, he is like the main protagonist of the show, but whatever. Doesn't mean you have to like him. And we've gone nearly to the end of this podcast without talking about probably like Sawyer's trademark trait, which is the nicknames.
How could I have forgotten that?
How could we forget? So Sawyer, and this is kind of where it's impossible to not like Sawyer. A lot of it, I think, is just the clever nicknames. Like, they're very funny. And he makes all kinds of pop cultural references, literary references.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it all kind of started as just him, like, he doesn't care enough about people to learn their names, was kind of the idea.
Especially with, like, Nikki and Paolo. I love that when he's like, who's Nina and Pablo?
That is one of the best moments, like, because we don't know who they are either, right? And Hurley's like, come on, man, you know who they are. And it's like, no, they were not here before. Like,
oh, we have to do a whole episode on them.
wow,
We could split it with arts.
That's a long ways away. So what are some of your favorite Sawyer nicknames?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really get a lot of the references.
Okay, fair, yeah.
I'm blanking. I'm pulling a blank. You're gonna have to go first.
Well, probably my favorite one, and you know, understandably don't get this reference, but when he calls Carl Chachi, like, oh, that was funny, because Chachi was like the teenage boy character on Happy Days, and yeah, it's just really, that was a really good one. Because sometimes there'll be a bit of a resemblance, like, okay, what about Lapidus?
Oh, right,
When he calls
yeah.
him Kenny Rogers, like,
Ken.
that's really funny.
Get it?
And then, you know, when he calls Locke Mr. Clean, like,
That
stuff
was
like
that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're probably forgetting a lot of the really good ones, but. And then there's the episode, what do you think of the episode where he has to go like a week without using nicknames? But doesn't it seem like after that he just calls
doesn't
Hurley like Hugo for some reason?
Kind of weird. I mean, I didn't like the mean nicknames.
No, I didn't either.
But
I didn't like, especially for Hurley, like the things he'd call him. It wasn't funny.
Yeah. But you know, it is weird. I think he could have just said Hurley.
Yeah.
Instead of Hugo. Hugo's weird. It's a weird name. Sorry, Hugo. I know there's got to be one Hugo watching this, right?
Yeah, of course. Of the many, many people watching, surely there's someone named Hugo. And then probably his most famous nickname is his nickname for Kate, which is
Freckles.
Freckles. And this is one of my
in season 5
cringiest moments, is where like he's in love with Juliet. They've been together for 3 years. Jack and crew come back. And why, Sawyer, why? He calls Kate Freckles in front of Juliet. And that was his like term of endearment for her. And Juliet looks at him sharply.
And then she just like tells everybody the code for the fence.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm done.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Was she right?
Kate. I hate Kate.
But I don't think that...
Okay, I don't hate Kate. It's just...
She really seems to ruin things between them. But don't you think Sawyer did really love Juliet more than Kate?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did Juliet need to be threatened or jealous of Kate?
Well, I mean, you would be mad.
Yeah,
about it.
Of course. But I don't think that, you know, she seems to really start to doubt, like, his love for her, and she didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like that. Why'd they have to keep on going with that? So, although, he does obviously love her.
Yes.
And I'm glad that he kind of shut Kate down when they were taking young Ben to the hospital.
Yeah, he makes it really clear that he's doing it for Juliet.
Mm-hmm. And I love that.
And you can sort of see a
Kate's
little
mad.
flash of, like, something on Kate's face, like, oh, you know, like she thought he was doing it for her, because that's what he used to do. But no, he was doing it for Juliet.
Yeah, not for the sake of just
So
saving
really,
dying kids.
if anyone
But
should
that's
be
okay.
jealous,
That's okay.
it should go the other way. Like, it's really Kate should be jealous of Juliet, because Juliet did what Kate never could. Like, she really reformed him and inspired him to be a better man.
I never thought of that.
And, you know,
She's pretty
and
wise.
when Kate is like, oh, like, talking about Clementine, and, you know, Sawyer's trying to explain, like, he couldn't be a good father to her for the same reasons he wouldn't have been a good boyfriend to Kate. And Kate's like, well, you seem to be doing well with Juliet. And yeah, like he could do it for Juliet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one thing I don't like, and we kind of touched on this, his lifelong search for the man Sawyer and to kill him, does he end up fulfilling that goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So unbelievably.
I like that, though.
You
Glad he
like
did
it?
that.
Yeah, I don't really. I could have
There's some murders that are like valid,
justified.
justified. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I feel
And
like
that's
the
one-
show could have done without that whole thing of, like, the box and, like, bringing John
But
Locke's
the box
father.
is so iconic.
It is very iconic, but I didn't like where they went with it. I didn't like that, you know, John Locke had to kill his own father to become the leader of the others. And then
Never did.
He couldn't do it. I mean, if anyone had reason to do it, like, it was Locke. He couldn't do it. And then Sawyer does it, but does he really find, I don't know, whatever he was looking for?
I don't know, man. I was glad that he ended up dead, and I was glad that Sawyer did it. Because I knew John Locke wouldn't be able to do it.
But it's not like doing that set Sawyer free and, like, changed anything, right? Like, does Sawyer
but,
seem...
like...
And they didn't even really follow it up, is what I don't like about it. It happens, and Sawyer, like, gets sick and is kind of seems to be really affected by it, and then it's just kind of forgotten. So I don't really know. Like, I feel like they needed to sort of tie that up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it give Sawyer
Lots of things need to be tied up.
the release that he was looking for?
Oh, I'm just falling apart.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's end things off with one of our favorite moments and kind of towards the end of the show when Sawyer and Juliet are reunited in the Sideways.
Oh!
Like, when I was watching the finale with Annie, so she's watching it for the first time, I couldn't wait for that scene. Like, I just could not wait for it. And I forgot how long it takes, like, to even see Juliet, let alone.
Aww. Juliet's so great in the Flash Sideways. I mean, like, she was so great with, like, Jin and Sun, and then I was, like, realizing, oh, she's gonna be there. Oh, he's gonna be there.
Yes,
oh.
yeah, they're both at the hospital at the same time.
And then the Apollo bar.
Yeah.
Okay, I always say it wrong. Just don't mention it.
Take your time. But let's talk about the significance of what they say to each other, because, you know, when Juliet is dying,
she says that we should go get coffee sometimes. Sometime we can go Dutch. And then she says that same thing in the Sideways. And I think that when she was dying, that's why she said it.
So this is like a very interesting thing that we can talk lots more about as things develop, but that it's almost like in that moment that she died, Juliet was already in the Sideways, which is a sort of afterlife, and she was experiencing both moments at the same time. Is kind of what it seems like, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Which kind of raises a lot of questions about, like, how the time travel works.
They had
on
one
the show,
of the best waking up. They had the best.
Yes, yeah. I think it was my favorite one.
Second would be Claire and Kate.
That was a really good one, too. I really like Jack and John Locke because, like, John Locke finally kind of gets...
Jack, I was getting impatient with Jack. I was like, okay, Jack, like, just...
Like, hurry up and get it already, but...
Charlie's was one. Ben's.
Well, and then Desmond, like Desmond and Penny, like when Desmond is getting he's in that MRI or whatever machine, and then he's getting the flashes. That's like the very first time it happens, and it's just so beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think what that really needed, and we can talk about this more on the John Locke episode, but like that Sideways moment really needed to happen because of just the terrible way that John Locke died. And, you know, there's this guy walking around that we think is John Locke come back to life, and it's like, oh, it's okay that, you know, nobody believed him and that Ben betrayed him. And
Hey, whoa.
And, you know, all that, because he ends up being vindicated. But no, he didn't. That wasn't really him.
What are we talking about now? It was kind of a weird...
The Man in Black.
Oh,
so
okay.
We were talking about the Sideways moments, and I was just very glad that John Locke did get his moment. Yeah.
Of course he did. He's great.
Yes, he is. But this is, after all, Sawyer's episode, so do we have
Oh,
any
yeah, that's true.
parting words about Sawyer? I believe it is time for the hot take.
Hot take. Sorry, guys, it's not that good today.
Well, way to really sell it up, but okay.
Okay, you know what?
Let's hear the hot take.
Sawyer should have been the protagonist. He should have been the main character. I really think so.
You know what? I bet if they made the show today, he would be.
Just because of his redemption arc.
Yeah.
And because how great he is in Dharmaville. And then, like, Jack, he has no redemption arc. He's just like, stubborn. That's his thing.
I think that's a good hot take because it's just so much more interesting when Sawyer's on the screen, right? And yeah, like, Lost was made 20 years ago.
So of course they're gonna go with, like, the classic good guy.
Right, but now the trend really is more towards the anti-hero, and, like, if you look at, Breaking Bad and just all the examples of shows where the bad guy is kind of the main character, and then...
If only.
But I think the Lost is kind of perfect the way it is.
It really is. It is perfect. And Jack isn't really the main character. There's 20 main characters.
Yeah.
But he's the mainest of all of them.
I bet you Jack has the most screen time, though. I don't know. I think he's in, like, the most episodes. But let's agree, the show wouldn't work without Sawyer.
Oh, yeah. No. There'd be nothing to it.
Yeah, he brings something that just needed to be there that no one else could bring. And so Josh Holloway is now in another J.J. Abrams show, which it's called Duster. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but
I thought you were going to watch it yesterday.
I watched the Bono documentary instead. So, but yeah, it's good to see him.
Who
still
can blame her?
Still working with J.J. He was great on the documentary as well.
He was pretty great.
So yeah, we just have nothing but love for Sawyer, a.k.a. James Ford, a.k.a. James LaFleur.
How many more AKAs are you gonna?
I think that's it. All right, and so thank you for joining us on our first visual podcast. Let us know what you think. If we should continue
no one watches this.
Or go back to the audio version. We'll see, but maybe we'll come back by popular demand next week on audio.
Right.
Okay, well, thanks again for joining us.
See you in another life, brother.
See you in another life.
Namaste and good luck.